Hello everyone, welcome to all. In this session we will discuss about theories of failure. Theories of failure is a term which is used to determine how the body will fail, when the body will fail, and at what load the body will fail. There are various methods or various theories to calculate or to determine or to predict the failure of an object or a component. The object may be mechanical, electronical, or any other element, metal, non-metal. We have to check the details related to failure, and that's what we called it theories of failure. So let us discuss one by one. Every material have a life, particular life. Every component have a particular life. After that life, the object cannot be used. Sometimes, actually most of the times, we can see that the object fail more before than its life. Why? There are many reasons. Sometimes the more load will apply on it, sometimes a less load but the impact is more. So at less impact load the body can also fail before its lifetime. There are also, we have also seen in certain cases that even at a very small load, in few cases the body will fail. This is due to the fatigue load or endurance strength of a body. So there are various factors which determine the failure of an object, and we will discuss it in theories of failure. The first theory of failure is maximum principal stress theory. So what is maximum principal stress theory? In the previous session we have discussed about there are various types of forces or various types of stresses develop in a body. Basically we will deal with three types of stresses. One is the principal stress or tensile stress or compressive stress, and the next one is the shear stress. So the one is principal stress theory, which will conclude the tensile stress and compressive stress, and the next one is shear stress. So let us discuss. In this case, maximum principal stress theory, we are taking only two factors. One is the tensile stress and the another one is the compressive stress. We are not considering at the present time the shear stress. So this is a basic theory. So how can we determine? We can determine that after applying certain amount of tensile load or after applying a certain amount of compressive load, the body will fail. In this theory, maximum principal stress theory, we also consider that the tensile load or the tensile stress and the compressive stress should be equal. So as per the graph, we will obtain an rectangular, a square cross section area graphically, in which tensile stress equal to compressive stress equal to sigma. Here we are considering sigma is the elastic limit in tension and compression. It means after a certain limit of tensile stress and compressive stress, the body will fail. This is a very basic theory. We know that in most of the cases the tensile stress and the compressive stress will not equal. As we discussed in the previous section, such as cast iron, the compressive stress of cast iron is very good, but the tensile stress is not good. So this theory is not applicable to all, but in most of the cases we generally use this theory, which is known as maximum principal stress theory. The next one is maximum principal strain theory. In the previous theory, we had considered only two types of stress, tensile stress and compressive stress. Now we are talking about maximum principal strain theory. It means in this case there will be certain amount of strain develop in the body. The first one is for simple, in which there will be no strain develop in the body, and in the second case, if there is any strain develop in the body, then maximum principal strain theory will apply. Okay, so it is slightly different from the maximum principal stress theory. In this, the tensile limit is slightly less than the limit which is we considering in the previous theory. Similarly, the compressive limit will be slightly less than the previous one. Theoretically we can say tensile stress equal to sigma 1 minus mu sigma 2. Due to a small strain, we will less a small amount of we can say there will be a less tensile limit at which the body will fail. It means according to maximum principal strain theory, the body will fail at less tensile stress, and in maximum principal stress theory the body will fail at more principal stress. It means if we check the accuracy or precision of both of the theories, then the second theory, maximum principal strain theory, will be more precise. So sigma t equal to sigma 1 minus mu sigma 2, and sigma c equal to sigma 2 minus mu sigma 1. Here sigma t and sigma c are tensile and compressive stresses. Mu is the Poisson ratio, the lateral strain, ratio of lateral strain over longitudinal strain, and sigma 1 and sigma 2 are the principal stresses. Okay, principal stresses mean in both the axis, x-axis and y-axis, and the other are the tensile. Sigma t and sigma c are tensile and compressive stresses. So this is the difference between both the theories, maximum principal stress theory and maximum principal strain theory. Now the third one is maximum shear stress theory. Now in this case, if there is any shear stress developing, then we will consider the third theory, that is maximum shear stress theory. Definitely we are considering that there is no strain in the body. Okay, then a different type of graph will obtain, a different points of graph will obtain. Definitely it will be more accurate and precise than the previous theories. Similarly, in that way, there is one more types of theory, that is maximum shear strain theory. Now such type of theory we will consider in that cases where there isn't shear strain is applying. So graphically we will get a elliptical shape, and which is we can calculate it by using the formula sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus sigma 1 sigma 2 equal to sigma t square. By using this formula we can calculate shear strain theory, and in maximum shear stress theory there is a different way. For first and third quadrant we will consider sigma 1 equal to sigma star, and for second and fourth quadrant we will consider another way, that is sigma t equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 2. so a different type of graph will obtain. This is the way by which we can calculate the shear stress theory. Graphically we can also check it out in the next sessions. The last one is, and the fifth types of theories of failure is maximum strain energy theory. If we will consider the energy of an element or an object, then we will use a different type of formula, that is sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2, which is equal to sigma t square. So in this way we will also get an elliptical shape graphically, but smaller in size than shear strain theory. It means it will be more accurate than the previous one. So these are the different types of theories of failure, and generally we have to calculate and we have to check all these failures, because the failure is not definite. In practical cases there are lots of ways the body can fail, and we have to check which type of failure will suitable, which type of theory will suitable in which type of failure. So that's for all today. Thanks.